Is your Lyme treatment killing you? Every study antibiotic treatment of Lyme disease shows failure. The antibiotic approach threatens the rapidly mutating syphilis-like bacteria to quickly make walls of biofilm that the antibiotics can't penetrate. Protected inside of those walls, the bacteria grows undetected while leaking out toxins. The bacteria breaks out of this wall in surprise attacks to reinfect you at will. The walls can break loose, becoming emboli that can cause stroke or heart attack. And the antibiotics kill your gut flora, causing malabsorption of your food, leaky gut, toxic bowel, and food allergies. This overwhelms your immune system so it can't fight your Lyme disease. So the treatment can make you worse. There is hope after Lyme has invaded your life. Even if every treatment that you've tried has failed, you need to know that many are being set free from this hideous nightmare. The courts of research have proven that prolonged treatment of antibiotics do not work, and there are definite reasons why. Knowledge is power. Open your mind to the realities of this disease. There you'll find how many are being set free. Lyme disease, labeled after the town of Lyme, Connecticut, where an uncommon form of arthritis appeared out of nowhere in young people. The black-legged tick was a blamed carrier of this newfound illness, and a strange new cousin to the syphilis bacteria called Borrelia was the cause. Reforestation of farmland became the scapegoat of a breeding ground of this new bacteria that has now been found on every continent. And now there are over 100 known varieties of these rapidly mutating corkscrew-shaped bacteria. The town of Lyme, Connecticut is suspiciously close to Plum Island, a test facility for livestock disease where it's believed that biological weapons are stored. Lyme is promoted to be caused by a bacterial infection called Borrelia, passed to its hapless host by the deer tick. But the American Red Cross is barring people with active Lyme from donating blood. You have to wonder if there's a possibility of body fluids transfer to a new host. After all, Borrelia's cousin syphilis is transferred in this way. Doctors who are successful in treating this disease are also reporting that people are getting reinfected with Lyme from foods such as deer meat, and cooking may not protect you from reinfection. What you believe will determine how you seek care. Open your mind to the hope of being free and healthy once again. There are now over 100 known species of the bacteria Borrelia that cause Lyme disease, and with it there may be 30-some types of co-infections related to it. With lab tests available for only 2 of the over 100 strains, you can see why the test is only 35% accurate. As a conventional treatment, the summary of IDSA, which is the International Lyme and Associated Disease Society, in their guidelines for Lyme's, quote, in speaking about antibiotic therapy, to date, there are no convincing published data showing that repeated or prolonged courses of either oral or intravenous antimicrobial therapy are effective for such patients. Many are labeled hypochondriac and sent to shrink after failed therapy. Meanwhile, the little bugs invade wherever and whenever they choose, only to give rise to a different set of symptoms that result in another label and more ineffective treatment. The arch villain of this nightmare is the deer tick. The deer tick has a 2-year life cycle with 3 stages, the larva, nymph, and adult. They have to have a blood meal at each stage to transfer to the next stage, and the females latch typically from 4 to 5 days. Here's a picture showing how small the deer tick really is. Aside from feeding on deer sneaking through the woods, the deer tick is also known to feed on mice, lizards, migratory birds, and things like that, especially while the tick is still in the larva or nymph stage. It then crawls on the forest floor in the rotting leaves until it's ready to find its next host. The adult female tick can lay up to 10,000 eggs per blood meal. What is apparent is that when bitten by an adult tick, you're sharing old blood from at least 2 other victims. It could be anything from Bambi to a sickly mouse, a snake, a flea, bitten rodent, somebody with STDs, or anything else imaginable that has blood coursing through its veins. The tick then crawls around in rotting material on a forest floor, picking up whatever is causing leaves, trees, and animal remains to rot. This is usually bacteria, fungus, microbes, and all those other scary things that you need a microscope to see. To focus on the tick side of the disease, prevention makes the most sense. Common Use as a prevention are to wear light-colored clothes, tuck your pants in your socks, inspect yourself often when you're in the woods, and shower immediately when you get home. For tick removal, most methods kill the tick. The head has to come out, but when you squeeze too hard, you implode the inside of the tick in your body and infect you with everything that's in the tick. My favorite method is use tweezers and lightly clamp the tick and unscrew it. Then soak the wound with rubbing alcohol. Here's a tool that we use. We take a Twisto-Seal, use it as a sliding clamp on a pair of tweezers. Clamp the tick, slide the Twisto-Seal down so it holds it, and unscrew counterclockwise. The most amount of turns we've ever had is 13 full turns to get a tick out, but they always come out whole. Lyme is caused by a colony of any one of several strains of smart bacteria that can be mixed with virus, fungus, yeast, microscopic critters, toxins, and parasites. The bacteria move quickly away from the bloodstream to hide from your immune system. When threatened, they wall themselves in by an impenetrable biofilm that antibiotics can't reach through. In the safe fortress they hide, communicate, and multiply while they pollute you with their toxins. When conditions are right, they break through their own walls of defense and reinfect their host, wreaking havoc everywhere they go. This is truly germ warfare at its best. All bacteria make ammonia when they eat proteins. Here's a picture of the ammonia cycle. Ammonia burns your cells much like acid will, only it's a strong base, some 47,000 times stronger than what your body normally is. The colonies of bacteria hide away from your bloodstream, so the ammonia just sits there and burns your cartilage, nerves, brain, muscles, and any other tissue or cells where the breeding colony of bugs lie hiding. You can't use lab tests for this toxic ammonia because by the time it gets to your bloodstream, it's quickly diluted. It burns your cells, even if it's undetected. The ammonia kills your cell's ability to make energy. There are little powerhouses in each cell called mitochondria. Ammonia burns them up so they just look like old, worn-out skeletons. Here's a picture of a dying mitochondria. The result is brain fog, no strength, and no energy. Animals make ammonia too, but they change the ammonia into urea so they can get rid of it through the kidneys and the bladder. Here's a picture of the urea cycle where ammonia comes at the top at NH3. Bacteria can't make urea, they make ammonia, and ammonia burns. With the mitochondria burnt up and injured, your cells can't make energy. This is a picture of how your cells typically make energy, where glucose, the cell's energy, comes down from the top into the mitochondria where most of the energy is made. Here are some of the villains that cause Lyme disease. Lyme is caused by Borrelia bacteria, which has at least 100 known species. There are presently lab tests for only 2 of those strains, and the bacteria used for the tests were taken from a tick, not from a person with Lyme disease. That gives you only a 2% chance to be tested for the right species of bacteria causing your Lyme. This is a picture of Borrelia bacteria. Notice the corkscrew shape. Borrelia change rapidly to adapt to any threats or changes in where they live. They can even build walls to protect themselves from any harm. But their toxins leak out through those walls, killing mitochondria and burning cells nearby. Borrelia like to hide. They move quickly out of your bloodstream and away from your immune system. They copy your proteins in your cells and cover themselves with them so that your immune cells can't find them. Different researchers are culturing Borrelia from brain stored in Alzheimer's banks. It's also been found in Lou Gehrig's disease and MS. Others are finding in worn-out joints that need replaced. Common symptoms of Borrelia are off-season flu, rash, fevers, aches and pains, dementia, neurological symptoms, Bell's palsy. Babesiosis is a common co-infection of Lyme. It's a microscopic parasite that eats your red blood cells from the inside out. Here's a picture of Babesia inside red blood cells. They should all be clear and gray. There are currently lab tests for only 3 of the many species of Babesia. They cause fevers, anemia, low oxygen, and low energy. Ehrlichia is another bacteria that eat your inside your white blood cells called monocytes. We'll have to go to another film to see the rest of this.